Good morning, good morning. Hello, happy Wednesday. Yes, halfway through the week. We're almost there. I am looking forward to getting more things on the screen and having our simulation look even better today. So if we if we run this, we have the balls that we create. They're at different sort of heights or randomly being created up above here in different positions, and then they're just sort of like falling. So I want to create some kind of line or wall here that they're going to sort of settle against, and that's going to be our I guess it's going to be our hopper for the randomness that happens down here. And I might want to eventually make this full screen, and that might help it. That might help us so that it looks a little bit better and we can handle more things on the screen at the same time. We'll have to see. So what that means to us is in here in the library, we want to do this insert floor function. So we're going to be running this code, the self-the-physics insert wall. So you have to give it a position of the wall, and then the width and the height of that wall. To me, that lets me know we need. Here's our config. So we need like the floor. It's like the floor, floor position. That's going to be at the top. Floor is probably not the right word for it, but I can't think of a better one right now. It's basically like the hopper floor. So if I do something like 50 down here, but I could even do maybe something like 10% down. So I guess it's floor position Y, because the X is going to be in the middle of the screen. That's going to be fine. So in this case, let's try 50 down. Then now what exactly are you? Utsby, hello, good morning. I saw that you created the video response to some questions I had. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I'm probably gonna watch it either later today or at least by this weekend. Let's see. So position. No rush on your part. Well, thank you again for making those. Those are pretty awesome. So I guess like for reference, Utsby made a sort of walkthrough and then also answered some questions in two separate streams that he did on his channel for the BBECS, specifically about the bit mapping and performance improvement. So we're sort of like doing an asynchronous back and forth for learning and improvement. All right, so our position is just a vector 2. So that's all it really is. So position equals vector 2. We want new. So the X, well, if we also need this, we do need the context. Yeah, so we'll need to pass the context in here too. Now, is that true? Probably. I think it might be best to do it through drawable size, or should we just do? So in this case, it'd be self.config dot width divided by 2, and then the height would be self.config dot. Oh, I can't do that until we bring this in to you. Okay, now I should be able to do floor position Y. Okay, that should be fine there. Now, our width and the height of the actual floor. We also need this context. Oh, no, we don't. No, we don't. I'm confusing myself again. Okay, so the width and height of what we want this to be. So let's do. So floor height, floor width. Let's just make this 5. And these do need to be F32s. Okay, so. Oh, right. Config floor width, config floor height. All right, we're happy here. We don't need this context there. So I don't think this, well, this might actually insert it in. Will it actually catch the balls? No, okay, so it's not actually inserted into the world yet. Because if we go into physics, insert wall. Well, we are trying to add this in here, aren't we? So why aren't you displaying where we think you are? So in the insert wall, we have this wall. It's going to be a static rigid body builder. I think that's correct. We give it the position, which is in the middle with no rotation. And we create the collider, which is this cuboid. So width divided in half, height divided by half. And then we insert it. Okay. Is it my center position? It's not hitting on the left side. I kind of want to see if it hits on the right hand side. But like all these balls are always choosing the left hand side. There it goes. Okay, no. Not there either. Where are we putting this? I'm putting that width divided by half, so that should be halfway across the screen. And floor position is 50. That's 50 down, not like 50 up. So that should be fine too. I suppose what we can do... Static collides, right? There's another one of these too, where it's yeah, I think I want it to be static, not dynamic. I don't think I want it to be kinematic because it's not moving. I want it to be static where it's able to be hit. Insert. Okay, so create the choice ball. So we know that those are coming in. They're definitely coming in and getting added. And we do insert the colliders. What I kind of want to do here is in draw. Now we're looping through all of the physics active dynamic. Kind of want to for handle. This will be the body stuff dot physics dot bodies dot iter. Oh, there's no static. Is that my problem? Does it need to be kinematic instead of... Let's try making it kinematic, see what happens. No, see, that's still not working. But I should be able to search through and see it. Chantilly, hello! How are you doing today? So if I want to debug body, I think the body, it's a rigid body, so just still have the same exact stuff. So if I want to create like a rect, new, select the position of this. We're gonna start with I mean, the idea is starting at 0. Pretty good, awesome. That's great to hear. Oh, because they're not always going to start at 0, are they? Because we're going to have other things in here too, like the wall on the right-hand side. So we should... let's see. We should get the position and then figure out its width and height. That will probably have to be in like the various data that we store using the ID, like the user data. Can I debug body? There should only be one of these. Yeah, so here it is. See, I don't want it to have a next position. I kind of want to not have it move around. Yeah, we have the body status kinematic. We're not changing it around. Is there something where I need to set that it's collidable? I can't remember. It's like, it wasn't even that long ago. Head. So in a collidable, I guess collider. So we have this collider builder. So the shape we built is a cuboid. So that's what we're building there. So we have the half. Okay, what if I ignore what we have in our config just for a second and insert wall? Well, maybe it'd be easier. Let's floor position, floor height, floor width. What if I start? Let's actually create that in here too. Floor position, X. Let's make this 0. And then in the main library, where we're gonna insert the floor, instead of doing this calculation here, just do self dot. Oh, we can't do that yet. Now we can do that. Okay, so if I just start you there and we start you here. So this is the top left corner of the thing. I wonder if that's what it needs to be instead of the center. Because I don't give the collider the position. Yeah, but okay, so it's still not colliding in there. The other thing is that for this wall, I really don't want it to be a new kinematic. We want it to be a new static. So it's like a static thing that you can collide on. Is there anything else in here that we need to? What was CCD again? Oh, that's continuous collision detection. I don't think I need continuous collision detection. Yeah, so we have the position there. Okay, so then on a cuboid, we have user data. Is there anything else in here we need? I don't think we need any. I mean, I don't think we need any of that, but certainly we're missing something. So insert wall basically is just adding to these things here. So We create a wall, we insert that. We create a collider, we insert that. This is a new static. I don't want it to be a new dynamic. Okay, so if we do this, okay, so we get this U128 in here. I should see this now in that physics, right? Especially if I like debug out this ID, like I should see what that ID is. I'm not sure this is really helpful, especially since I'm not making it kinematic. Okay, so it's ID 3, so that makes sense. It's in there. I don't see it hitting anywhere around here. I mean, so here we're seeing continuous collision detection thickness is 2.5, max distance. What did I do differently to get that wall in the other one? Let's go find out. What did I do? In exploring Rapier TV. Yeah, so I created like the white wall here, the right wall here. So we created the position. So that's on the right hand side, so it's width minus this. So we're trying to go into the center for this one too. And that seemed to have worked. Here, like the pillar might be even better. So I told them that we're inserting a platform. Okay, so we created a body, new static. Okay, is that makes sense? Gave it a position, got the user ID, gave it a user ID, got the build. Okay, body handle. So we insert the body. We didn't like forget to insert the body, did we? So we handle stuffed up bodies to insert. Give it the wall, okay. Then we create the collider, which is a cuboid. So we give it half the width, which is 1/4. So it ended up becoming like half the width of the entire arena, but that was fine. And that's kind of what we saw too. So then colliders, is this too small? What are we passing in as the width? Our floor width should config floor width. Is 5. And then it's gonna be half of that. This should be the entire width of the entire arena, meaning I shouldn't even have a floor width on here. This should be okay. Come back to here. We don't need a floor width. We just need that floor height. In here, this is going to be a self.config.width. Like that is the width. So if I rerun you, there we go. Oh, okay. So now you're starting halfway through. What happened to the ball? Did it fall? Okay, so I want to put you back here. So position, let's do width divided by 2 again. Okay, let's try this. There we go. Okay. So now those are happy. Did they disappear? They do, and then they crash. Why did it get removed? Did it go to sleep? Is that why? In my draw, oh, because it's no longer active dynamic. Oh, okay. So I don't want to return through here. So I need to like in self.bodies dot. I guess just iter. So if I do that, line 76, because not everything has a color anymore because the wall doesn't have a color. So we would need to check to see like what type this is. Can I debug body and then it'll crash after once, which will be fine. Yeah, okay, so body status static. Whereas the other ones are dynamic, I believe. So if body dot body status equal to, and then what is a body status? Body status. Oh, you won't let me. Is that not a thing? Because I don't want to have to do like something like static up here. Yeah, it is an enum. It's a pub enum. Okay, so I should be able to get body status static. Oh, right, but you won't be able to do like an equal. We can do a match. So that might be perfect. So if we match body dot body status. There we go. Okay, so kinematic, we don't care about. We don't expect to have any of you. But dynamic is going to be all of these things. So and if I think about this, let's see. Let's just throw you all in here because you're going to be the circle if you're dynamic. Okay, so then this should work again. All right, we're back to working, and this should not disappear after it settles. which it does not. Perfect. Okay, so then for static, we should see the wall here. But even then, we're getting this information out of here. It might be best for us to ignore all of this stuff so we don't have to do like the body status on it. Position, we get the position like this. We get the ID. I probably should go back to like our previous state and create some kind of like struct that wraps around the data so we can just say like, here, give me the color. And it will give like the generic color if it doesn't exist, for example. Because then we can see, okay, you're a type, choice. Therefore, you're gonna have a color, you're gonna have a position, and you're gonna be a circle. Here in static, let's say I was doing this without refactoring and without like being the final position. I would still want a position. We can create the color as just white. Then we're gonna put in right, because they're using the choice radius for this one. We do have the width and height of it, don't we? Or we know the width. Oh, we know the width of this specific static is the entire wall. But because we don't know it's the floor, we don't know that. Like if I was to just, do this, this is going to be a rect. So bounds, it's a rect. So starting at 0.0, essentially position minus this. Yeah, so we need to be able to store like the location, which is this specific rect of where it is. Okay. So before I do this, I think what we need to do is refactor to have a like the data for these. Now we called this just data in the last one. I don't know if that's like, this is data for like the drawing. So maybe this could be like the draw data. So then here's where we put all the stuff that we care about. So we already know that we need colors. So we're going to use a hash map for this with a U128 and then the actual color inside of here. So that should be fine there. Other information for this, like what do we need out of here to draw? The position, okay, so we get that from the world coordinates. So in your case, that's all we care about because we can get the radius in here. So we get the position off of this. The radius we get out of the config. So it's really just the color that we care about. Okay, so okay, so we're going to store the draw data away. We are not going to need these colors anymore because that's going to be inside of this draw data. So we're going to get some errors as it tries to like insert that, but that should be fine. So instead of colors new, we're just going to get a data new. Okay. However, down here where we have the self colors insert, we're going to want to. So do I want something like insert a color? Probably. Then when we're drawing out, we can just say like, hey, give me the color and here's the ID. So insert color. We'll have the ID, which is AU128. Don't think I need to return anything. We're just going to say self.colors. Oh, you know what we need? Kind of need the color. All right, so self.colors dot insert. The key is going to be the ID, and the value is going to be this color. And so we don't really care about that. So back to here. So now this is going to be self dot draw data dot insert color, pass it in the ID, and then this is going to be the choice dot color. All right, so we get that in there now. Then down here, time for us to get this color back out. So pub function get color. We want the ID. It's AU128. We're going to return a. I guess in this case, we're just going to return a color. It's going to be a clone of this color, but I think we need to have that anyways. And let's. Do I want to have it return a result? Somewhere I have to unwrap this. I should probably unwrap it like as close to the front as possible. So I know in here that I'm getting this colors. So here, let's do an option with a color inside. Now we could even just do, we're getting the reference to the color, and then we'll destructure that as appropriate. So that makes this a lot simpler. We can just do self.colors get pass it in a reference to the ID, and that's kind of what we're getting out is this option. So now our color here, and see, we're already dereferencing this here, so this will be fine. Be self dot draw data get color and pass it the ID. That gives us this options. We're just going to unwrap you because what can you possibly be other than that? That gives us a reference to the color, which then we deref here. So everything should still work, and the balls we have should still have the colors. And they do. Okay, so next up with this, if I want to draw this floor out, and it looks like no matter what, we need the position and the ID. So I'm kind of gonna just do this up here in the loops. We only have to do that once. We don't have to like have the code multiple times. So in this case, we extract the color out of here. And then we're drawing the circle. Okay, so for static here, we're going to be drawing a rectangle based upon the position. Which is in the center, so we have to start it. Well, I guess we start at the full left, don't we? But this doesn't necessarily know about that. So do I need to like have a type for like the user ID to sort of like track that? I did that in a previous one. And if we do that, then I don't need this entire body's status either. Now, it won't change anything because it will still be this match. But instead of just body status dynamic, we would have a little bit more control over exactly what type it is. Maybe that would help. Because some of the other ones are going to be rotated. And we need to reflect that. So let's do this. In draw data, we're going to have an enum here too. It's going to be our data type. So right now we have ball, and then we're also going to be working towards having like the floor, whatever we end up calling it. So floor for right now. Which means we have data types. I think I can get away with calling this types. So you're right, hash map. With a U128, and then a data type inside of here. Peyton Rules rating with a party of 3. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Peyton Rules and Raiders. How are you doing today? Did you get past the advertisement brigade? It has been a while since we've been rated. We could try the asteroid game, since I think that's our new one. It doesn't yet have those changes that you put in Utsby. I was hoping to. Oh, you didn't see an ad? Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Let's see. If I go into documents, Is it Rusty Asteroids? No. Oh, is it in my Rust workspace? It is in there. Run, release. Here we go. So here's our interactive game. We make a lot of these here. So while we play it, I'll be able to chat with you all. Peyton, how was your stream? What were we working on today? I remember seeing earlier that you weren't sure if you were going to be able to make it. Also, you can add in so
reinforcements have arrived.
Oh, Oscar Ellen, hello, yes.
Target the nearest asteroid.
There.
Reinforcements have arrived.
How are you all doing today? I don't know if Peyton, you had to run off. Sometimes you have to after your raid, after your stream. Hopefully it went well. We've been working on a. Let's see. This is the last project we did. Our current project is going to be a random chooser.
Reinforcements have arrived.
But I'm going to use physics instead of like just normal, just like a normal person would use a random generator or like a random library. So I'm going to have sort of like almost like a pachinko machine where a bunch of balls representing each choice falls down.
Target the nearest asteroid.
And then sort of like bounces around, and then one of them is going to hit the bottom first. And so that's going to be whatever gets randomly chosen. And we're experimenting with a new library we found called a Rapier 2D, which is a 2D physics library, which is pretty cool. I have noticed that I don't seem to need the ECS library when I'm using that, or either that or I haven't figured out how to properly use it. All right, we're on level 7. Oh, okay, the quick deaths are starting now. Level 8. Okay, and that's it. Chantilly, hello. All right, so level 9, we got 4,400 points. That's pretty good. Let's go take a look at what we're working on over here. So I'm creating a data to track our data types. Right now, if we do run this, I think it works. I have 2 choices right now in a file, and I have sort of like a line, like a wall or a floor across the top. We're gonna remove that when it starts, have a bunch of like nails in here, and then they're gonna bounce around before being forced to like maybe hit like one specific spot down at the bottom. So right now I'm trying to get to the point where I can draw out that floor easily without like, drawing something else instead by accident. So if we insert a type here, so we know what type we're looking at, data type is, so we're going to do self.types, insert, our key is the ID, and then this is going to be the data type. So if we do that, then we come back to our main library. So when we create the choice balls, yeah, that inserts this ball, we get this ID back. So we can now We insert this color, and that's fine to have, but we also need to do draw data, insert type, pass it in the ID, and then this is going to be the data types ball. So that should make you happy. Now, floor is the same thing. When we insert the floor, I guess we do need a color for this. So let's come back here and have like a floor color. Floor color is, we can make it white for right now. We can also make it black. That could work. So floor color out of here. All right, so now I just have access to the floor color. So we insert the floor, we get the position of it. We then tell our physics sort of wrapper to insert that into the world. And then we get the ID back. So now we can create the color here. Well, we already have that color. So we can just do self dot draw data insert. We can do type first. This is going to be our data type. Here a floor. Insert color, ID, and then this is going to be the self.config.floor color. Okay, so by getting those both in, down here in draw, if we want to switch away from, so we have the ID here, we can now get type. And this is going to be a data type that we're getting back out. And I suppose what I can do is we can have this just be an option with a reference to the data type, but I don't know if it matters that much. We can also have this be like unknown. That might, oh, okay, this helps. So we're gonna return a data type no matter what. So we could match on this. No, I think it's gonna be better. We can do if let sum, get our data type, we'll self.types.get based upon a reference to this ID. Then we're going to implement a clone and copy for this. Derive clone copy. So then we can just return a dereferenced data type. Now, if we don't have this, we're going to return a data type unknown. All right, so back to here. Now we don't need to match body status anymore. Now we need to match self.drawData.get type, pass it in that ID. You change a little bit. Wait, what did I do? Fill match arms. Okay, so you both go away. You're now gonna happen inside of here. and we don't have you. Okay, that should be happy. So now if it's a ball, then we know, we get the color out. And then we draw this circle here, and that's fine. If it's a floor, then we get the color out. In this case, we know it should have a color, but so we're gonna unwrap it here. And then we're gonna draw the rectangle. So we have to create like the location of exactly where this is. So I can either store this in the data or like be recreating this every single time. I think we want to store this, shouldn't we? So up here, we kind of know where we want to create this. Like let the rect for this, we'll say rect new. So we know that you're starting at 0.0. Self dot config dot floor height minus half of the floor width, because this is in the center. Floor height. Floor position. Position Y. Now position X, yeah, we don't need this here anymore. Okay, so floor position Y minus half of the height. Then we get the width and a height. So for the width, for a floor, it's like across the entire screen. So self dot config dot width, and then for the height, self dot config dot floor height. So that gives us this rectangle, and then we want to store this away. So in draw data, we want rects. You're going to be a rect inside of here. So we want to insert you. Okay, so then back out here, we're now going to insert that in. So self dot data dot insert rectangle, pass in the ID, pass in this rect. All right, so we have that now. So if I want to grab this out at this point, we need a get. Okay, that's simple enough. So then we can go back and use this. So in here we have our color, our rect. It's going to be equal to self dot data. Get rectangle, pass it in the ID, and in this case, we're going to unwrap it because it should definitely be there if it is a floor. And then after that, I think we don't need to do anything other than draw this. So do a graphics. Oh no, it's not a graphics draw. It's add this in. So mesh builder, rectangle. So fill this in, give it the rect. This needs to be dereferenced, and give it the color, which also needs to be dereferenced. Okay. Cannot borrow it as immutable because it's also borrowed as mutable. Because you're giving me a reference to this. I wonder if this would be better for me to just have it return the thing. And then crash as soon as possible. So if I just have it return the color, and I just have you return the rect. So then in this case, it unwraps. And then you need to be like a dereferenced. And back here, okay, so get color. You don't need to do that, and you also don't need to do this anymore. You get a clone of it. And you don't need to be referenced anymore. Yeah, okay, so it's much happier with that. It's not the best pattern. It like crashes inside of there, but also like I'm okay with that because it shouldn't happen either. And this is like not library code, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Okay, so let's run this, see if we can actually see our platform. I guess that's what we can call it. We can call it platform, but there it is. Now our balls are sitting on top of that. Now, if I want to get rid of this, how do you delete? How would I delete? I could, let's see. It's essentially removing it from the bodies, right? There's rigid body, body status. Okay, hold on. What are you? A rigid body set. Okay, so rigid body set. Okay, so we could have a contains handle. We could have a remove and give it the handle. Oh, we also have to give it the colliders and the joints. Wait. when we remove. Oh, interesting. Now, if we get the rigid body, that's how we can get the colliders. So if we, that's how we can get the colliders. And then how about all of the other things? We need the joint set. Whatever joints. Oh, no. We just get the entire collider set and it finds it for us. Oh, that's no problem whatsoever then. Okay, so remove, we just need the handle from it. So I do something like in my main library. I don't know where I want to like store this right now. So I'm just gonna put in like the floor ID. Here can be U128. So we're gonna store this away. And we're gonna be deleting this. We need to have it be an option with U128 because we don't know if it's gonna exist in there, like when it exists. So floor ID is gonna start with a none. Like we have no floor ID. And then when we create the floor, we have an ID. So we're going to say self.floor ID is going to be equal to some ID. So now we have a floor ID. Then in key down event, we could check to see our key code. If the key code if let key code import you okay, so if let key code, let's just say space is equal to key code. First of all, let's make sure that this works. So I'm just gonna do a debug here of space hit. So I should now see space hit. I do. Okay, so that should be fine. Then, so after we hit space, I want to now find to see if we have a floor, then remove it. So, probably want to do something like self.remove floor, and that would kind of be it. Like we're just saying, hey, we want to remove the floor. Well, clearly the first thing is if we don't have an ID. So let's just do let the floor ID equal to let some ID to self dot floor ID, return this ID, However, if this doesn't exist, we're just gonna return. We're done. There's nothing for us to do here. It's a little bit of a guard clause. That gives us the floor ID. So now I want to get the handle of this body from the floor ID. So we essentially just want to remove by ID. So add that in here. Hub function remove by ID. All right, so what do we need to do for that? We probably need the handle. So that handle equals self dot bodies, I think. Dot so that gets me by the rigid body handle. Oh, do we not? Togglebit is raiding with a party of 124. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, Togglebit. I am Hardliner. Hello, Togglebit. How was your stream? What were you working on today? While we're waiting, you must be off to eat. You'll be back later. Oh, more pixel editor. Awesome. That's great. So something we like to do is whenever we get raided, we play some interactive game that we've made on the stream. So we will play this asteroids game. Togglebit, thank you so much again for the raid. Sorry you can't hang out and stay. I don't know if I'll be on still when you get back for eating. But let's go ahead and set this up.
Reinforcements have arrived. Reinforcements have arrived.
Hello, Danny Fritz. How are you all doing today? We'll see how far we can get. This is a lot more people than we've had here previously.
Firing randomly. What could go wrong? Shoot the UFOs. Firing randomly. What could go wrong? Reinforcements. Shoot the UFOs.
Obviously, just chatting gets you in here, and then you can set your strategy just by also saying what the strategy is.
Shoot the UFOs. Target the nearest asteroid. Shoot the UFOs.
I'm glad you like it.
Target the nearest asteroid.
I do try to have like a lot of interactive type stuff in here, as opposed to just like the passive. The passive drop game, which we did have in the past, but I ended up swapping out for one of these. Okay. Nope. Yes. Almost. Okay. I think I'm relatively safe now. Yes, I did write this. This is written in Rust and GGEZ, and also a custom ECS library that we made. Utsby also has helped out. He submitted a pull request and showed me how I could get like 100 times better performance in the deletion section of the code. So I'm still trying to sort of like wrap my head and learn all of that. 2 lives left.
Firing randomly.
1 life left. Our highest level that we've gone to is level 10. Okay. What was the thing he showed me? The bitmap stuff. Specifically, like there's some other little things in there that the bitmap unlocks that you can do, but specifically using a bitmap, which is very similar to what we're using with the layers, like the collision detection layers. So if I use an actual just, binary number for the bitmap, I'm able to then do some bitwise operations to determine if something has everything, if an entity has everything. There's some other little minor things in there, but basically it means my like delete code, which is like an entire page long, is almost nothing. Do you have any resources on that I can link? I'm still wrapping my head around it, so not really. I could link. Hold on, let's go find that pull request. I guess like the pull request, and I can share that out. I haven't pulled it in because I want to like fully understand it before I do. Oh, these are my pull requests. I need to go to. Oh, did it not? Oh, he didn't create a pull request. Never mind. Never mind. It's on Utsby's channel. Is like a description. It's custom like for me, so I don't know if like I don't know how helpful that is for anybody else. But yeah, I don't have those. I don't have any good resources yet. All right, what we are working on today is creating a random chooser. So I don't know if you've ever seen like a random like wheel that some streamers use, where it's like, oh, it spins around, then it chooses one, then yay, you do that one. This is the same idea, except instead of a spinner, it's a bunch of like balls. Then we're gonna have a bunch of nails, and they're gonna just fall down, and one of them is randomly gonna get into like the little spot in the bottom, and that's our winner. So instead of using an actual like cryptographically secure random algorithm, we're just going to simulate stuff, sort of like simulating dice rolling, except much more chaotic. You had a really bad game idea today. Is it one of those good bad game ideas, or just bad? Also, I'd love to hear it. Okay. Handle, stuff the body. Okay, so we need to figure out how to get so that's like the rigid body handle. How to get the handle from an ID. I don't know if I can do that without looping through them all. Because like all of these remove, I need them all to get. Okay, so I think I need to get the handle. So I'm gonna create the handle like that. The random selector game can feature bloat into a pinball game. I was actually thinking how Rapier 2D can unlock a whole series of games that I can do now. Because of this, like the physics 3D stuff or physics 2D stuff. Pinball was one of them. Golf and pool are two others that like I think, or billiards if you're not. Is it pool elsewhere? Is that just only American thing that we call it pool? The idea was to create a scripting language where every valid ASCII character is a valid instruction, and use that in a game. Then use Twitch messages as scripts and oh god. I mean, to be honest, that sounds like you're kind of creating Vim, the game. Because like that's every character does something. So just turn into a game. That's kind of what it is. Pollux, hello. I grew my hair. Yes, I haven't had a haircut in like over half a year. I don't know what happened in the world that caused me not to want to go out and get haircuts, but yeah, something happened. Well, thank you, Pollux. I probably will be getting a haircut though eventually. Let's see. Okay, so if I want to get the handle, oh, I'm not applying anything. No, it's in relatively good shape in the morning, and then by the nighttime, it's just wild and in my eyes, and it's At that point, I usually am starting to like think about wearing hats, or I want like something to like keep it out of my eyes. Let's see. If I want to get the handle, you know what? We should probably just do a function here. So function get handle by ID. Maybe like get handle. This can be a self. ID is a huge 128. I don't know if this can be done inside of here. We're gonna do a reference to a rigid body handle. Okay, rigid body handle. Okay, so get rigid body handle. And so then here, handle equals self dot get rigid body handle, and hand it that ID. We should probably have it be an option. Because like, what if we don't find it? Okay, so let's start here. Hairband, maybe? Oh yeah, I can wear a hairband. I don't think we have any here. My wife doesn't wear them, so. Bandana gangsta style. I have 2 bandanas. And they're American flag bandanas that we got at the beginning of COVID when we went hiking, and like a ranger was just passing them out trying to get people to wear face masks. I've never used it because we had our own, so I just okay, I'll take a bandana. I guess I could try that. I've always felt weird about wearing the flag. Okay, so if I want to return this, I want to let we want to loop through. So we want to loop through. USA flag symbology was co-opted. I would agree with that. Self dot bodies dot iter. I don't think, I can't just iter through only those. Okay, so self.bodies dot iter dot, we can do a, no, I think I want to do a F4. So for body in. Okay, so this gives me the body and then the handle like that. So then if we find, so down here, we're gonna return a none if we don't find anything. And then up here, if the body is the one we want. So if the body dot user data is equal to our ID, then we're gonna return, oh, you know what? This gives us, we don't have to have a reference here. We could just return the handle, because apparently we can just clone that. So return a sum handle. So that gives us this here with the option. You know what we can do? We can make this public. This will make it a little bit easier. Then here we'll take in a handle, which is a rigid body handle. This will make it a little bit simpler now. Now that we've had the handle, we can just remove. So self dot bodies dot remove handle. So we already have that. The colliders, so mutable self dot colliders, mutable self dot joints, and I think that's it. Okay, so back here in remove floor, we get our floor IDs. Then we need to have our handle too. Let handle is equal to self dot physics dot get rigid body handle. We pass it in the floor ID. In this case, we should be able to unwrap it because we're going to be making sure that after we do this, we then track it as none. So, okay, so that gives us our handle here. Then self dot self dot physics dot remove by ID. So that's no longer removed by ID, is it? Removed by handle, really. Let's actually just call this remove. And then hand it the handle, and then there we go. And then finally, we can't forget, we have to do self dot floor ID is now equal to a none. So physics, gonna change you to just remove. So if we do that and we run this, we have that sort of like floor at the top. The balls come down, hit that. We only have two choices right now, so that's why we only see that. I then hit space, that disappears, and now they continue to fall. So then the next idea is that we're going to create like a whole bunch of nails that they're all going to like fall and jump around, and hopefully that should be sort of like cool to watch them go. I should probably also create some like walls on the side, and then we'll have like some kind of hopper in the bottom to collect what these are. Yeah, it should be interesting. All right, let's see. Is there anything else that I really care about this? I don't think so. It is 8:30 though, so I am gonna have to end it here. So for the YouTube video part, I'm gonna end you here, and then I will see you all next time.